Hi, I'm John Blakely. I'm the senior producer for Everquest 2 from Sony Online Entertainment. My colleague here is Andy Seitz. He's the producer for Everquest 2. And we're going to take you on a brief tour and a little brief adventure in the new world of Norrath in Everquest 2. Everquest 2 is a game that's going to be a parallel universe to Everquest 1. Everquest 1, or Everquest Live as we're calling it, is going to be a continuing, growing, thriving environment. And we're going to build a world that is set 500 years later and full of new adventures, new places to see, new creatures to defeat, new loot to get. And what we want to do is just walk you through some of the new features that we're bringing to the world of Norrath through Everquest 2. One of the main things here is character customization. Players really get into their characters and they identify with their characters. They like to look unique in the world. And our goal here is to provide enough options to the player that they can create a visually recognizable character in the game world. So you can see here Andy is going through some different things that we can do. We can set hair color, eye color, pick different hairstyles, beards, facial hair, different textures on the face, so you can be old or you can be young, you can have scars, tattoos, just, really whatever you want to, any way you want to express yourself online. There's over thousands of options that you can choose from to bring a unique identity to your character in the world. What we're going to do is we're going to take you into the Seafarer's Roost. It's in the city of Freeport. It's a little rough around here by the docks, but we're going to go in and well, there's a fight going on, Andy. Why don't we take a gander at what's going on in here? Something's going down. We got an advanced adventuring system in here that allows the world to react to players. Allows the player to be a person in the world that has done things, accomplished things, and the world reacts to that person based on their accomplishments and deeds. One of the things we wanted to do with Everquest 2 is bring the world to life, have it full of emotion, have it full of character. And one of the things, what you're seeing here is a bar fight. Apparently this ogre here has gone in and is robbing the bar, but this monk is defending her honor because this is her local watering hole. One of the things I'd like to point out here is the kind of combat that you're seeing, the different moves. They're professionally motion captured by a stunt company. That stunt company is Smash Cut, and they've done such notable stunt work as The Matrix and all of its ensuing sequels. Anyway, let's walk around the bar a little bit and take a look at some of the patrons. We're bringing over 15 races from Everquest 1, the ones that you know and love, and then we're also adding a new race, the Ratanga. So here we have a Karen, which is a descendant of the Vashir, and we'll get to that in a moment, but he's sporting the Necromancer robe, and he's also really happy. All right, let's move on. There's a Dark Elf. We all love the Dark Elves, of course, sporting some plate mail. And of course, what would Everquest be without a Wood Elf Druid? So here we have a little preview of what a Wood Elf Druid might look like in Everquest 2. Notice the detail in the armor, the hair, etc. There's a couple of thugs over here in the corner that will just to show you that some of the customization options not only apply to the players, but also to the NPCs as well. So again, making them recognizable in the world. And then, of course, our friend the Ratanga. Say hi there, little rat guy. Anyway, the Ratanga is going to be an additional race to Everquest 2, and it'll be available on the evil side, and we'll get to that in a second. Here we are in Freeport. Take a look up. Luckland has been destroyed. It's a big plot element for Everquest 2. It's rained down chunks onto the planet, totally changing the geography, the landscape, and the power base of Norrath. All the other races have lost their control over the resources of Norrath. In addition, all the other races, except the humans, have been sent into disarray and disorganization. So under the flagship of the human cities, both Kinos as a good city and Freeport as an evil city, the different races are joining together to try to reclaim that power in an epic struggle between good and evil. So Freeport is built as a center of commerce. There's two main cities in Everquest 2. It's Kinos and Freeport. And you can see it's been built for a lot of people. We expect these to be centers of commerce, trade, and socialization, adventure. One of the new archetypes that we're adding to the game world is a tradesperson class. That tradesperson class is going to be able to make all the best items in the game. And so this is going to be a center for them to be able to practice their crafts, sell their wares, and create new items. Let me get to the archetypes. There's 5 different archetypes in the game. There's the fighter archetype, the priest archetype, the mage archetype, the rogue archetype, and like I mentioned before, the tradesperson archetype. All of our classes, which there are 48 of, are centered around those 5 archetypes in terms of their roles within a group structure. So when you go and look for a party, you're going to want to get one of those archetypes, not necessarily a specific class. So a monk is an equally good tank as a warrior, but they just will have different strategies and different tactics as they approach a battle. A couple other things that we're talking about planning for in the future are, player-run events. Players really enjoy to participate in the world and change and alter things, and so we're going to provide some facilities for them to be able to host, be it combat, duels, or performances, and do things like charge for them, or be able to put on plays and things of that nature. It's a big part of the Everquest community, and we want to embrace that. In addition, we'll also be having player housing in the game, and there'll be a number of different options for this. First of all, ranging from a small in-room, if you will, which is basically a virtual space called a pocket zone that will allow you to decorate and customize the interior to your suiting and to your liking. And then all the way to a massive guild house that, on beachfront property in Freeport, which there will be very few of, but they'll be at a premium for both cost of acquisition and also maintenance. Why don't we take off and go on visit some more areas. We're going to go off to Nektalos. Nektalos was the home of the Dark Elves previous to the Cataclysm, and now the Dark Elves are there trying to reclaim their power. So we're going to go in and hop in and see what kind of diverse landscapes that we're able to generate. One of the exciting parts about Everquest is the diversity of terrain, the scale, and just the sheer amount of things and variety that you can see in the game world. And we've aimed to bring that to the players in version 2, but to a level that's been unprecedented prior to this. As you can see, we have a waterfall scene here in the Enchanted Forest, and we're very proud of the water. It's pretty amazing stuff. And you can take a look down at it and see. You can see the reflections of the trees in the water. You can see reflections of yourself in the water as well. And it's just, one of those things we're putting in those kinds of details so the player can, just be drawn into the world. Let's go over and take a look and see. There's a couple players that are logged in from our San Diego offices, and they're going to attack one of our creatures here, the Treant. It just gives you an idea of how we're building the creatures to blend in with the world, to be part of the world, to feel like you're there, and also to give you a sense of a scale. So this guy is going to attack, and you can see we have a couple of different folks attacking him. They're going to cast some spells on him. There they lit him on fire. So fire and tree, that's probably not a good thing. And you can see that there's birds flying around. The details are just amazing. Our artists have gone to great lengths to add very small touches to the world that make it feel real. Like if you look closely at the tree, there's a beehive with bees floating around it. There's a bird flying around. There's a nest in there. Things you probably won't notice the first couple of times you interact with these creatures, but things you'll notice over time. Well done. All right, let's move on over to near the waterfall. We're gonna go check out a couple other little creatures that you might find in Nektalos. No, they're pretty. They're pretty shocked by the fire. So they're still in shock. So that's why we're getting away as quickly as possible. Right here we have an elemental lord pet. It's something we've shown in screenshots. This is like kind of a high-end caster pet, which gives you a sense of power, and they're pretty tough. So we're going to go over here and talk to this caster and move on into Castle Nektropos. And what we're going to show you here is kind of an example of what might be a pocket encounter for a boss. And this means that you've accomplished prerequisites for these particular encounters through your playtime and through your interactions, and now you're ready to go and fight the boss. So you get your group together, you pick and choose the time, and then you go in there. And what this allows us to do is know where you start and where you end, and we can do really neat things that are more traditional to single-player games that allow you to, allow us to create tension, drama, and just really, bring you into the adventure. Castle Nektropos is one of our dungeons. It was built by Lord Everling, who unfortunately had his daughters murdered and went insane and mad trying to figure out ways to bring them back by tapping into the dark arts. The very dark arts that he tapped into twisted the very stones of the castle and caused him to go insane. Here we have a couple of his creations. He was more of a Frankenstein type guy, so he has a series of flesh golems and crusaders that he's brought back and trying to bring his daughters back from their tragic accident. So as we move forward, wow, what's going on there, Andy? Be careful. Sounds like something's up there. I'm not sure. This is a little scary. Maybe that flesh golem knows something. Anyway, you can see how we can, again, create some tension and create some excitement by setting up the environment to react to you as you move through. Again, this would be you and your party going through the dungeon after you've accomplished the goals, the prerequisites to get there, and then being prepared for a big boss fight at the end. Look at that flesh golem. He's petrified with fear. All right, so as we move forward, we're going to see some adventurers that were logging in from our office. And look at that, it's Nagathon. Welcome back, Nagy. As you can see, this is where it all comes together. This is where the technology, the sound, the detail, the amount of drama that we can put in there just all comes to life with this boss encounter. We're going to be working on having epic boss encounters in the game, so when you get to that point, you've really earned the reward, and we're going to give it to you full throttle. As you can see here, we've got the details of Nagy's crest on fire, fire-breathing dragons, there's audio going on, they're fighting it. Of course, you need more than 2 people probably to take on the dragon. These guys are pretty tough. Little tail whip going on there. Hopefully they'll kill it. Excellent. It's a sad thing. Maybe there's a cloak of flames that are going to drop this time. Who knows? Anyway, so that gives you an idea of a little adventure in the world of Everquest 2. Thank you for your time, and